Early in the morning, wake your goat mouth ass up.
Blessed risings, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where in the world you are tapping in. Gotta keep in mind that Keep It P podcast is a global show, and today we'll be discussing Mike Tyson's life story being stolen by Hulu. And he says, I'm not a Nigger you can sell on the auction block. This probably should have been a Patreon, but I try not to curse, use profanity, or any of those extra names because we have young scholars that tune in to our show along with educators. So I try to keep the show palatable for those young minds. Mike. You set yourself up for this, Mike. I'm not saying it's right, Mike, but you know they be stealing and you be fraternizing with the others. Like you be mutton and jeffing with the others. So this here, no shocker, buddy. No shocker. This is a Blavity article. Stephanie O. You see how Mike Tyson claims he making the claims. We ain't sure, but he said it is, and you know they done stole this dude's life story. Stop it. It says with director Craig Gillespie, producer Margot Robbie, and writer Stephen Rogers at the helm, the team behind the film I, Tanya, Hulu is slated to debut Mike, a limited series that follows legendary boxing superstar Mike Tyson from his early childhood to his days in prison, and so on. The series, which premieres on August 25th, stars Trevante Rhodes for Moonlight as Mike Tyson, Russell Hornsby as the electric boxing promoter Don King. Why ain't you say what other movie he been in? And Harvey Keitel. There has been much chatter about Hulu's upcoming show and how it will portray the controversial heavyweight. Press releases have said that the series will cover everything from Tyson's criminal history to his fall from grace and eventual comeback. Isn't his criminal history part of his fall from grace? No? And y'all didn't have nothing to do with that criminal history? I'm just saying. Because some of that, especially that so-called rape, one can surely expect to cover Tyson's domestic violence allegation and his bout with Holyfield. It goes on to say, y'all need to sign that petition. See, Mike, you're black when you want to be black there, Mike. And that's a problem, Mike. See, you choose the black when it suits you. Mike, I choose to be black when I want to Tyson, see. But see, you wouldn't be in this you wouldn't have been in none of that mess had you been on code, boy. Now I need y'all to be on code and go sign this petition. What petition?
Be one to the family. This is Kendra Blackwood of Hot Lava Music TV and the Hot Lava Media Group. And I come to you today with an urgent call to action. And with that being said, this petition is to demand the US government immediately make anti-Black racism a public health crisis is now an active campaign at change.org. And after this message I'm going to need you to go over there and show your support. Right after you smash that like and subscribe if you have not already. Make sure you hit that bell for notifications. It doesn't cost you a thing. Now, this is a petition to demand cash reparations for foundational Black Americans addressing two critical components. So what is anti-Black racism? Anti-Black racism is defined here as policies and practices rooted in American institutions such as government, finance, education, healthcare, and justice that mirror and reinforce economic deprivation, racially targeted laws, beliefs, attitudes, prejudice, stereotyping and/or discrimination toward foundational Black Americans. What is a public health crisis, you ask? Well, a health crisis or public health crisis is a difficult situation or complex health system that affects humans in one or more geographic areas, from a particular locality to encompass the entire planet. Health crises generally have significant impacts on community health, loss of life, and on the economy. And ultimately the solution to the problem, it is imperative that the United States government declare anti-Black racism a public health crisis for foundational Black Americans. In 2020, as a community, Asian Americans experienced only 287 hate crimes nationwide. However, FBA in the same year suffered 2,871 reported hate crimes. As we know, those are just the reported accounts according to the F.B.I. As foundational Black Americans, we know that the number should reach in the billions daily. This resulted in
$20 trillion, and that resulted in a 94-1 against you, Black people. The Asian crime bill against you. Reparations will arise in our lives, but you gotta be smart about it. Celebrations. Yes, we will. Go sign. Have your granny sign. It goes on to say, in 2021, Mike Tyson was working on a biographical series of his own titled Tyson, which would have been way better. You got anything titled Mike, come on, you either talking about Mike Jackson or Mike Jordan. Stop it. And he tapped Jamie Foxx for the leading role, which would have been way better. They have a trailer for this Mike. I'm not going to support it. See, Mike, even though you don't support us, I'm always on code, and I don't do no disparaging, but boy, you know you ain't been on code. Especially how you went off on Bootsy, and I ain't even saying Bootsy was right. I'm just saying how you went off on him. What he was saying wasn't wrong. He was talking about the Bussy Brigade. He was talking about the Alphabet Gang. And I ain't got a problem with you being in the Alphabet Gang. I got a problem with you choosing it over being Black first. Be one. He tapped Jamie Foxx for the leading role. Great pick. According to Variety, Anton Fuqua and Martin Scorsese were set to direct the series. All right, I mean, like I said, you always be trying to, you trying to do the Rainbow Coalition. Well, I ain't, tripping on Martin, but I'm sure there was some other directors that you could have got. But I know that you're, trying to please mommy and daddy because that's what you've been on. You know what I'm saying? Even when, Customato or my man all in your corner. I can't remember fam's name in your corner. You know what I'm saying? Dungy or whoever. You was treating like a daddy, P, period, is what I'm saying. So you been used to zaddy. I've been, and you want to do the Godfather type, but I got you. I've been looking to tell my story for quite some time, Tyson told Variety last year. With the recent launch of Legends Only League, and the excitement from fans following my return to the league ring now feels like the perfect time. Look forward to collaborating with Martin, Anton, Jamie, and the entire creative team to bring an audience a series that not only captures my professional and personal journey, but also inspires and entertains. However, it has been quite some time, and it seems that production has been hit with a number of delays. These delays may have worked in Hulu's favor. Why? You didn't have to. How you gonna do it without somebody? Oh, that's what y'all do. You're thieves, right? These Hulu's favor is they decided to move forward with the release of their Mike biopic, a biopic that Tyson has long stood firm against, stating that the series was unauthorized and he was not being compensated for his story. He also called for a boycott of the streaming giant. Now you want boycott? Who you asking to boycott? All your fans? Or is you asking black people? Which one is it? Which one is it? And you're probably just saying your fans, but then when you like, I'm not a nigger, you can sell on the auction block. See, I'm telling y'all, I should have made this a Patreon. It's going to be hard for me to stay. I apologize to the young scholars that may be watching. It goes on to say, in a now deleted Instagram post from February 2001, Mike Tyson accused Hulu of corporate greed and tone deaf culture misappropriation for announcing their film during Black History Month. So, what did I just tell? So, you're asking black people to stand with you. Huh, Mike? When the last time you stood with black people, Mike? Huh, Mike? I don't remember you saying nothing when Rodney King got the beat down. I don't remember you. Now, I do say, if you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all, because you don't got to talk against the movement. But just the fact that you didn't speak out against, silence is violence, boy. And when have you really been the one that shut your mouth, biting off ears and carrying on? Said I wasn't going to do no disparaging. We don't do that on this show. But boy, you got some nerve. Man. So he typed up this big old, I know you didn't. Here's Mike's statement right here. Hulu's announcement to do an unauthorized miniseries of the Tyson story without compensation, although unfortunate, isn't surprising. This announcement, on the heels of social disparities in our country, is a prime example of how Hulu's corporate greed led to this tone deaf cultural misappropriation of the Tyson life story. To make this announcement during Black History Month only confirms Hulu's concern for dollars over respect for black story rights. Stop. What he's saying is true, but it look at the source, man. Y'all weave in and out when you want to be black, and all of a sudden Mike Tyson is black. I don't remember you being black. That's all. Black boxing fans have always had love for you, Mike. But where was the love back, though, Mike? Where was the love at, Mike? Don't you be messing with Joe Rogan and all that, fam? And you talking about greed? Do you have any standards? Do you, sir, have any morals, sir? Huh? I'm not agreeing with Hulu, and I'm certainly not bashing you, sir. I'm just saying, I don't be trying to disparage, but this, Yeah, this just should have been a Patreon. It goes on to say Hollywood needs to be more sensitive to Black experiences, especially after all that has transpired in 2020. Just 2020? That's why Hollywood needs to be more sensitive to Black experiences because of 2020, especially because not before then, but cherry on the top. No, dude, stop. Stop. They been. We been underrepresented. We been. But all y'all gotta do is not watch the movies that come out. If Black people stop supporting films that don't represent them, guess what? My goodness. The real Mike Tyson authorized story is in development and it will be announced in coming days. What coming days? You didn't bust a grape, P. Once again, not giving them no excuse. But you know how the game works. It's a dirty game and you've been playing it. Mr. Mike, I'm only black when I want to be. Tyson, huh? Let's be honest here. Okay. He continues. He continues. Hulu to announce stealing a black athlete's story during Black History Month couldn't be more inappropriate or tone deaf. Boycott Hulu, hashtag boycott Hulu, hashtag corporate greed. This was way back in February. Ain't nobody busted a grape. And this was February 2021. Come on, Mike. And you ain't spoke on it again since then. Is you getting a check, Mike, on the slender? These actions taken by Hulu are just the tip of the iceberg. We shouldn't be surprised by these adherent actions as they represent the systematic racism that has plagued Hollywood for its entire existence. And why was you talking about 2020? Especially 2020. These corporate giants hide behind plays and praise themselves for offering tone deaf attempts at diversity and inclusion like Hulu's Black Stories plays list that recommends stories about Black culture to viewers on the app. Yet behind closed doors, they steal stories from the Black community. What Black community? If we talking about stories that have been stolen, it's not just Hulu. And why you just stop there? Because they didn't cut you a check, P. But you ain't talking about the real struggles in the Black community, and it ain't got nothing to do with no funky Hollywood, P. You ain't talking about hashtag cut the check. You talking about how hashtag boycott Hulu because they didn't cut you a check. But I bet there's other stories of Black folks that they done stole. I bet there's other Black creators work of art that they done stole, and you ain't said nothing, Mike. It may be a year later, but the former heavyweight champ is not taking his foot off of Hulu's neck. On Saturday, August 6th, he took to his Twitter account to once again voice his frustrations with Hulu for allegedly stealing his story. Hulu stole my story, he tweeted. They're Goliath and I'm David. Heads will roll for this. How? When? What you ain't did? You ain't did nothing in the last year, P. Hulu stole my story. Again, they said. They're Goliath and I'm David. Heads will roll for this. Tyson's rant didn't stop there, however. Hey, at Tulu, I'm not a nigger you can sell on the auction block. Hashtag slavery is over. Hashtag FUCK Hulu, he went on to tweet. Listen, fam. Now you're concerned with racism all of a sudden. Now there's racism, Mike. Mercio Saldivar, president of the World Boxing Council, based in Mexico, says he was misled by Hulu into thinking Tyson was involved with the streaming. She's streaming sites adaptation and provided them with authentic memorabilia. Someone should get fired from Hulu. Producers were lying to my friend saying I supported the unauthorized series about my life. Tyson signed off his Twitter rant with one final message, and frankly, I wouldn't want to stick around to find out what he meant by it. Hulu's motto of stealing life rights of celebrities is egregiously greedy, he wrote, followed by the hashtag heads will roll. So it's just celebrities now. See, black done left. Hulu's motto of stealing life rights of celebrities, not black. You done left the black, and that's what he wanted you to leave with. That's it. I'm not really black. I go back and forth when I want to be black, when I don't want to be black. But we keep supporting, bottom line. What did we learn today, boys and girls? We learned that lamestream media, Hollywood, PukeTube, Facebook, Netflix, all of these platforms are against black creativity if they can't steal it, own it, manipulate it, take it for themselves. That's what they will do. Period, point blank. We will take it for ourselves. Down to y'all's dances on TikTok, we will steal them and represent them as our own, which we have been doing, and we sit there like, yes, Sadie, that's okay. We gonna buy it still anyways. You after you done stole it and repurpose it, we gonna like it, love it, and spend our money with you. And I'm tired of it. And I ain't gonna hold you. I'm just gonna mold you, fold you, and lastly scold you, because we done told you about being off code. Yeah, I had to remix it. Yeah, scolding you about being off code. If you don't know what being off code is, then that means you're not on code, and I need you to be on code. And if you don't know what it means, somebody put it in the comments. What's being on code? So that folks can know. And remember, all skin folks ain't kin folks. And we're going to leave you with the 4 words that we always leave you with. Love, peace, blessings, and aloha. For sure. We out the Doha. And you see that cash app right there. If you want to hit us with a blessing for this lesson.
We need to go out here and say exactly what we want. And we got to say it with our chest. And we kind of start pussyfooting around, and we got to stop being scared to say exactly what we want, what we need. We need that paper. Say it with your chest. Damn all that. We need justice. We need y'all to love us